Hello, pioneers, and welcome back to another episode of Satisfactory Update 4. The build is coming along very nicely, and I am enjoying what I am seeing. Things are working out well. Managed to build a lot of things so far, and we're progressing quite good. Now, the next steps in our build will be to do some advanced things, mainly being the computers and the heavy frames. Now, the computers are a bit of an issue because I really do not want to build the normal recipe for computers because it is a motherfucker. Uh, right, same as for the heavy modular frames, because they both require screws and it is a nightmare. Thankfully, for the heavy modular frames, I have found a alternate recipe which gives me these, and it is a blessing. However, for the computers, I don't have that, and it still needs screws, and it is a biatch to make. So I'm gonna try to start with the heavy encased frames first, yeah, and then maybe if I am super lucky, I can get the crystal computers, which are made using uh, the circuit boards and the crystal oscillators, which I will have to build a different manufacturer microfab for. However, I am gonna try to start the initial microfab for the heavy frames, and I'm gonna put down one of these bad boys, and while that guy is making the heavy frames needed for further manufacturers, I will try to see if I can actually find some more what are they called, some more hard drives, so we can hopefully unlock a recipe. Alright, so I'm gonna have to think about a spot, about where to put down the manufacturers, and I'll be back. So thanks again for watching, to everybody. Really appreciate all the help and all the likes you've been giving me. It's really super helpful. Continue to do that. Continue to subscribe, like, interact, comment. It's really good for me, and I really enjoy it. So let's get to it. Okay, so I've chosen a spot, and it's gonna be right over here in continuation of the steel production line. Steel, it's iron and steel production line. And I've made this little rectangle over here. Now, remember that for the refineries on the other side, I have decided, and I will actually show you a little bit later, what happens when you try to do inputs and outputs as well, because I figured out a way to do that. Um, we are using 6 by 8 rectangles, yeah, because we've noticed that those can work. Now, I've done a bit of experimenting, and it turns out we can use the same layout for manufacturers as well, and we can do that with the manufacturers, and they are load balanced too, so that is going to be great. So in a 6 by 8 rectangle, we are going to put 4 manufacturers. So as always, we start from smack bang in the middle of the rectangle, and we put, this time it's gonna be 4 stacked inputs, yeah, because we're gonna have 4 inputs. uh, we're gonna have 2 on each side for the manufacturers. Now we have the manufacturer, it's gonna be one on each individual thing, yeah, and the inputs are gonna be straight in the middle, so we can have them perfectly load balanced. And so the way we center the manufacturers is, because I want to put vertical elevators between the splitters and the manufacturer, uh, we're going to need 3 spaces, because that's how much we need between inputs in this case, between the manufacturer and the uh, elevators themselves, the splitters. So we're going to line these up. I want to leave a little bit of space, yeah? So I'm actually going to line these up right over here like that. So it lines up with the, uh, the actual foundations. So from the splitter lined up with the foundations, we have 1 and a 2 and a 3, and we place down the manufacturer. Now, then we have the splitters, which are going to go, like I said, lining up with the foundations, real nice and fancy. We're going to have 4 of them, yeah, and then we're going to have 2 layers. So we're going to have, where is it? Where is the input? So input is going to be over here for this one. Don't care for these. Then again, input, make sure it's here. Don't care for these. Make sure again the input's over there and input's over there. Yeah, all good, all lined up. Now we get down from here. We cut these boys down along with these and these and these and these. Yeah, and now we grab an elevator. We look at the things and we see how much inputs we need. Yeah, they're all, except for the pipes, which we're gonna treat that later, under 60. So that means that we can do elevators straight from the splitters to the manufacturer. Now, because we're gonna use only 4 in each individual microfab, it means that the input's gonna get split into here. So that means 2 equal inputs, and then they get split again for each individual manufacturer. So that means that the manufacturer is gonna be perfectly load balanced. Now we can input the connect the inputs for each individual bit, and then we're gonna have to line the stackable poles as well. That gives us a 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, and then we're gonna use, for now I'm only, well actually I might need, so it's gonna be 60 on each side, 120 inputs. Yeah, we'll use 120 inputs just to be perfectly safe. Yeah. So that's gonna go down, and there we have it. And over here on this end, we are gonna have the mergers, which are gonna come in whichever direction we want. Now, the thing is, I'm gonna have a lot of inputs over on this side. Yeah, it's gonna be 2 over here, 2 over here. I can easily put the outputs over here as well. I'm gonna have to decide, we'll see. But let's say I put it towards there, because I'm gonna try probably to use the direction the same as the input. So we're gonna line up, and as before, as you can see, it line up perfectly. I'm gonna use a merger over here, and the input, which is gonna go over here. Now over on the other side, we know that it's on the last tile, so we can use the same thing. Yeah, mergers over here. We can bring the merger from over there, and let's say we bring the where is it, storage container over here. Yeah, so let's let's put it over here. Let's rotate, make sure it's perfectly lined up. Okie dokie. Yeah, put another splitter over here. And there we have it. Now I'm gonna have to put 4 walls over on each side. I will not be able to do the windowed ones because I'm gonna have to put a lot of inputs on each side. I'll see, maybe I can replace them later on, but for now there's no room for that. So what I gotta do now is I have to bring over all of the materials for the heavy frames. So I'm gonna need modular frames, encased beams, steel pipes, and concrete, and I have all of them in somewhat close proximity. And what I'm gonna do most likely for the ones that are far away, I'm gonna use the overhead buffer, which is gonna allow me to bring all the materials in without interfering with all the stuff over here. But I'll see. I'll decide whether that's needed or not, depending on how far they are and what's the distance. All right, so let me bring that over. 1 BTS later, all the materials have been brought in. The power has been somewhat connected, and it's time to hook this puppy up. So without further ado, after the autosave kicks in, let's connect our first manufacturer. And we have liftoff. It's gonna take a while for these things to start loading, but hopefully everything's gonna go real well once we get everything in. Yeah, I will have to probably increase the speed of the pipes once I fully connect everything, but for the time being we are going to get this thing going. Ah, it's glorious. Amazing sound that is. Amazing indeed, sir. Okay, let's wait for a bit and get that thing out. Almost there. And we have heavy modular frames. They are here and they are glorious. Oh yes, this is fantastic. Now, I am gonna wait a little bit for these to be produced, and once I have enough, I will make the rest of them, and we will have a full-on microfab for heavy modular frames. Yes, sorry. Oh yes, there we have it, folks. Glorious manufacturing production. A full microfab worth of manufacturers producing heavy modular frames. Now I've had to tone down the production, so I scaled it back to 2.5 so I can do with just a 120 line worth of steel pipes. It's fine, it's okay. From 281 to 2.5, it's perfectly fine. You know, the additional time is okay. It's well worth it because it balances out my production without any issues. But there we have it. It is amazing. It is glorious. I love it. Our very first manufacturing microfab is on its way, and it's fully producing, full steam ahead. We already have 42 modular frames, plenty for our future needs. Unfortunately, I used up all of my hard drives, and I didn't get the crystal oscillator computer. So I might need to do some more exploration to find that, or maybe even think about uh, getting the, where is it? Sorry, manufacture. And I got no plastic. Yay! Perfect. Getting the manufacturer with the normal recipe for computers. So yeah, I'll have to think about what I'm gonna do. So it appears that unfortunately I will have to use the computer recipe in the manufacturer for the time being. Now, this is fine. It's no super biggie. We can deal with it. The issue, however, is the fact that I cannot have a steady supply of circuit boards and plastic because at the moment every single bit of heavy oil residue is being stocked into here. So what I need to do is I need to get rid of this thing. The best thing to do to get rid of this thing is to build a plant next door to process it. And the only recipe that I have right now that deals with, actually two recipes that deal with heavy oil residue are the petroleum coke and the residual fuel. I could do the petroleum coke and put it in the awesome sink. However, since it's gonna be needed as well and it's gonna be useful, I might as well use it to make residual fuel. And then the fuel, I can put it into one of these bad boys to make power. So I will get on with building a new facility, new refinery, oh, not that, over here, to deal with the heavy oil and to make fuel. And then we can continue. Let the madness begin. So, there's two pipes which bring in heavy oil from both of these, yeah? I'm gonna set them up right now. This is gonna be like so. Oh, actually, well, yeah, you know, it's I might as well just do it like that. One and a two. Now we're gonna have a pump goes like this, yeah. Well, no, it's a Mach 1. We're gonna hook this up so we know this goes only one way, yeah, so we don't get cross heavy oil from each side. Yeah, gonna hook this one as well so that we're sure this gets full. Now the oil then gets transmitted through the 600 line over here. Yeah. Goes over here and feeds these bad boys. And they start firing and they make fuel. As you've seen, I have done proper balanced loading. Yeah, the fuel then goes into here and feeds this bad boy. Now I have demonstrated how the system should be working full time. However, what I will be doing is this. I'm gonna cut this because I don't need rubber at this point. I'm only gonna let the plastic set in, yeah? So that should make a wee bit of fuel until this thing gets full. In the meantime, plastic will start feeding in through here and in these bad boys. Now I think I have a few, because this is what I made previously. This is a assembler microfab for the circuit boards that I made earlier. So the circuit boards, along with the cable that I have from previous and the screws that I brought from over there, and along the plastic, get fed into this bad boy, which is a microfab for computers. I have put down the clock speed to this number in order to have 120 screws per minute tops. Yeah, because I don't have more than 480 lines, which is capable of feeding all four of them. And now I am going to start this bad boy up so that we can feed everything in and we can get some really amazing computers being made. Now it's gonna take a while for them to get fed, you know, especially the screws, and it takes not so long actually. It takes only 24 seconds to make. Well, it's gonna take a bit longer because the speed is gonna be lower. It's gonna be 26 seconds, yeah. So this is gonna allow us to make some sweet, pretty computers, which hopefully is gonna be enough to feed what we need for future unlocking and production and everything that we might possibly need for the future. And there we have them, the computers. They are amazing. Our first automated computers come to Papa. And so we have sweet, sweet computers being made as well. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm gonna have a lot of these boys, so I will have to feed. See, so it's this, and what's coming in is barely enough for the computers themselves, because this only makes 20 times 8, that's 160. So plastic is definitely not enough. Yeah. This eats, what is it, 40, so this eats 160, so it's basically all of the, it's even more than the plastic production. So I will probably have to make another fab on top to make some more plastic so that I can feed both this and this. This actually eats 240, which is even worse. So yeah, I'll have to do something, but for the time being I have built this. It works, it is demonstrated, and it is amazing. I love it. So we conclude the episode with both the heavy frames and the computers being made to some extent automated. Uh, so that is amazing. That is great actually. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. Don't forget to do the regular stuff and come back next time for some more amazing Satisfactory, where we're going to continue using the computers and the heavy frames to unlock some more milestones. Take care. Ta.